So let's say that you want a texture paint, but you want to just take an image and slap it on to your model. This is how you do it. I'm going to start from a very blank scene. So you'll do a bit of modeling as well. Nothing very fancy, just very basic modeling stuff here. You want to select everything and delete it. I'm going to come in here and just drag in Shift A image reference, and this reference is here. Paste this here and bring this bottle in. This is my reference. I'm gonna use this bottle to texture paint as well at the same time. So to make this, I'm just gonna simply Shift A mesh, take a mesh circle. Where is a mesh circle? Mesh circle, scale it down. Okay, now come in here, and with my X-ray enabled, I'm gonna do a easy, bring this up, scale a little up, the easy, bring it here, scale a little in, the easy, scale a little more, the easy. Over here there is this a little bit of a thing, so GZ will bring it up. Then we say easy, bring this up, and easy, bring it up. There's one more I think here, and then I'm going to do E, right click, scale it down, okay, and then easy, bring this up, and maybe just leave it there because I don't quite know how the bottle is from inside. Okay, now it's already in X-ray, so Control 2, I'm gonna add a subdiv of 2 on it, and we could just delete one half and do like a mirror modifier situation. At the bottom we'll have to fill the face, so Alt, hold and press F to fill this. With this bottom loop, I'm gonna Control B to add like a bevel, and over here I'm gonna select this part, Alt, and in my face select, Alt select this loop, and Alt E, extrude face along normals. So, and you're gonna drag this down, I'm gonna give that to us, and similarly for this, I'm gonna say Alt E, extrude along normals. I'm gonna take it down or up. Yeah, I think that works. Again, we can come in here and fill the top. This isn't really about the modeling part. Okay, it does that. Then you want to just insert it, and maybe you can select this and give it a crease. So that does that. I'm gonna right click, shade, auto smooth. Okay, so I think that's a good enough bottle. I think the bottle bottom can be taken a little up, and this can again be given a bit of a crease. Okay, fair enough. And why has it gone to the collection? The circle here. I'm gonna shut this, come in here, just model the cap quickly, Shift A mesh circle, scale this down. We can go into X-ray, A, easy, bring this here, easy, the easy, and then again easy. Firstly, you just want to get the basics, and the Control 2 for your subdiv. Come into my edit mode again, and if you can't see properly, you can come in and enable this, so it will help you see better. Again, I'm going to select the top and the bottom. I'm going to just fill them and insert it. I think the bottom has to be open. I can say X faces, so let the bottom be open. Okay, and then now what you want to do is, in your face select this, say Alt E, extrude along normals. So that gives us that. Yeah, let's just keep it very simple at the moment. Let's say this is your bottle, okay, which has been modeled. Now we want to again take that texture itself and texture paint it on top. First step, if you go in the sequence, just follow this particular sequence. With this selected, come into UV editing and if you select all of this, UV editing, how does this have no, okay, we started with a circle, that's why there is no UV map to begin with. If you do a U and UV unwrap failed, edges, seams may need to be added. Okay, there is no seam at all. So what you can do is you can come in here U and say project from view. So this current view will be projected, which is exactly what we want. So you don't need to go through the process of seams and everything, not needed. So I'm going to come in here, select everything and scale it up. Scale this up as well, so it fills the entire thing. Second step is you want to go into texture paint. Okay, let's go in sequence. You're editing texture paint, shading, the way the things are. Now over here you want to add a texture. Okay, first texture, then material. Texture is added to material, material is added to object. Okay, so first texture, which will be added to the material. So you're going to create a new texture here, and we're going to call this bottle. We're going to call this bottle texture, and doesn't matter what resolution you make it. Actually does matter whatever your PNG is, but let's just make it 2K, and you can give it a grayish color because the bottle is gray. That also doesn't matter, we can just paint it over anyway. So you're going to click OK. That was step 2. First was UV edit, unwrap, second was texture paint. Now if you come in here, you can still not do anything because missing materials. So you want to come into shading, give this thing a new material. Okay, come in here into your base color, drag it out and drop image texture. Okay, and here from the drop down you want to select the bottle texture that you just selected. Now everything is set up except for you want to set up the brush. The final step is you want to set up the brush, because if you come in here and you start painting, this will just paint the color over here, whatever the color is. So if that's something you want to do, cool, that's you already doable right now. But we want to just paint on the image onto the bottle. So the way you do that is material, you don't want to change anything here. Texture slots, you can even shut it. Brushes, you can even shut that. Brush setting, shut that. No, brush setting, don't shut. Inside brush setting, over here you see texture, come here, and over here texture you want to click on new. Now this will create a texture. Now in order to actually import a texture, you want to click on this button here which says show texture in texture tab, which will take you over here. Okay, so click this button. Now over here image, you want to open the image wherever that image is saved. So this is the image, so that has been loaded here. Okay, now you want to go back to your brush settings, active tool and workspace settings. Okay, the thing you want to change is from mapping, you want to change from tile to stencil, because if you keep it at tile you're gonna get something like this, and it is doing a colored version of it. So if you keep it at tile, you're gonna get like stickers like these, and that's not what we want. So you want to go to stencil. Now this will give you, when you are hovering over your viewport, like a ghost image, and you can right click on it and drag it around. Okay, you can shift right click and move the arrow, move the mouse up and down to make it bigger or smaller, and you can do shift control right click to rotate it. Okay, and now if you mess things up, you can come in here and say image aspect and reset transform. That will do that. And what you want to make sure is inside stroke, this should be at space, because if it is at anything else like anchored, then it will not work. It will just keep increasing your brush size. Okay, so you want to keep it at space. Okay, now everything is set. All you want to do is come in here, shift drag this and make it bigger, kind of like this. We're doing a very loose job here, but you get the point. You press F to scale it up and just paint it over. Okay, now if you see around, it's been painted like this. So it basically also paints on the behind, and I know a way where you can make sure that it doesn't paint behind, separating the UV, right? That makes sense. So if I come into my UV edit, okay, and go to the right and select the middle loop here, right through the middle, I'm going all the way, Control E, mark seam, and then go to the left, the middle, Control E, mark seam, and now I say AU unwrap. Oh my god, I also need it to be cut here, this entire thing. So Control E, mark seam, AU unwrap. Okay, now this is looking something like what we need, and let's select the bottom face and say Control E, mark seam A, U, unwrap. Why are we not able to see things properly? Yeah. I want to enable live UV sync. I want to select this, what is getting selected. What I want to do is I want to see what this front faces are. Okay, so these are the ones. So maybe I could do a link. So that will select the first. And I could rotate this and bring it here. Yes, that works. Yeah, again you want to select with L and rotate and bring it like this. Okay, so this was the front, right? I'm going to do L, G, bring this, I don't know, doesn't really matter where you keep it. Scale it up so that it's taking up majority of the texture, and the bottom, the back can just be where it is. Okay, now that we have the UV separated that way, what you can do is in your texture paint you can come in here and firstly I want to take my paint bucket and make the whole thing this color. Now I want to take my texture and make the brush smaller and just paint it over. Yeah, that is how you do it. Now it doesn't come behind. The thing is though, you wouldn't want to have this little, it has a condensation or whatever texture on it. So how will you paint the back of the bottle? You can come to the back section and we can do is this is what I normally do. I make the image very big and then a part which is like empty, I'll just use that to paint this behind. Although this is a problem because then you get these big patches. So what you can ideally do is you can take it into Photoshop and just remove all of this, or I think even better option would be to use the clone stamp tool. Yeah, just clone this. So I think you control and then this will control select. This works exactly like Photoshop. Okay, then you keep dragging it ahead. This video is getting way longer than it was supposed to, 21 minutes. Okay, so that does it. And for the bottle is the cap is the exact same process. We're gonna come into over here. It doesn't really matter because it's the same thing. There's no thing behind which is supposed to be different. I'm gonna come in here into my UV editing and A. You don't even have to do A, but U, project from view. So get this, I'm gonna scale this up, get here, then go into texture paint. You're gonna remove this bottle texture, create a new texture, call it cap, 2K again, and give it some green sort of color. Just hit OK. Now you're gonna come into shading. It's all in like a good rhythm at the top. Image texture and cap texture. Okay, I mean this already looks kind of okay for what we're trying to do here, but you can come back to texture paint now. Take your this thing. Now it has the texture from the bottle, so when I come into texture we're gonna come into texture here, and you wanna remove this, then create a new texture 001, or you can call it bottle texture, whatever. Come in here and open. Oh, actually we didn't have to remove it. It's this only. It's in the same image now. Yeah, and then all the other will just stay the same. And I'll bring this here, and yeah, the UV can actually overlap, and just paint it over. Because the UVs are overlapping, it goes all the way through, and the top is screwed. But if you want to remove the texture and just take your some green color and paint it over, it is still doing the image. Yeah, it's painting color. Okay, so this is how you go back to my layout, and this is how you get an entire texture painted bottle with the modeling inside of Blender. That's what I wanted to document in today's session. A little bit of in the khud stuff. This is 8 June 2023, 10:02 p.m. and today I went to the office today, and entirely I tried two things today. One was the Apple Vision Pro headset. I thought I could try and model it, but I couldn't. It was a complete failure. I just could not model it. It just seems simple enough to do, but it was a fail. I have to do it again. Second thing I was trying to do is I was trying to recreate another 3D creative which they were working on in Office, but it was very complex in terms of its layers and the mountains and everything behind. And that's what it is. So thanks so much for being in the khud. I will catch you tomorrow. Peace.